Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started. So hello and happy Wednesday. All right, so we are going to start in a standing position today for our practice. If you're working from the YouTube channel later, we're going to use a looping resistance band. You can use your TheraBand, but just know that we're going to use it kind of in a closer loop position. And you'll need a folded up blanket and your chair. So we're going to start in a standing position. If you like, place your folded up blanket just nice and close towards the back side of your chair. And we're going to start by standing off of the blanket. So just to do a little bit of grounding, and then we'll step our feet on. So just have it in a place where you could still touch your chair and your feet can be on the ground. Once you've got your props all set up, fingers on the chair, feet on the ground, face forward, close your eyes down, relax your shoulders. If closing your eyes down feels like not a safe position to be in, then you will open your eyes and soften your gaze so that you're not having to think about too much about the visual space in front of you, but just allowing a little bit of closing off that sensation in particular. So once you've got your eyes closed or a softened gaze, we're just going to feel down into our feet. So start by just giving your toes, your feet a little bit of a wiggle. And then see if you can sense the blade edges of your feet, or think about the side, the pinky toe side of your foot. So think about that blade edge of your foot. Can you just wiggle the blade edge of your foot? And then let your awareness travel to your heel. Could you just wiggle your heels? And then see if you can let your awareness travel to the instep of your foot or the arch of your foot. And could you just wiggle the arch of your foot? And then can you let your awareness come to the big toe ball mound of your foot? So the ball mound of your foot, big toe line, can you just wiggle that part of your foot? And then can you wiggle the 4 small toe ball mounds? And then come back to just wiggling the whole entire bottom of your feet. Notice the texture that's underneath your feet. So if you're wearing socks, you might notice the fabric on your skin. If you're barefooted and you're standing on a sticky mat, you might notice that texture. Or if you're on a carpet, you might notice that texture. And then let all of that wiggling come to stillness, eyes closed or soft gaze, soften your knees, soften your tailbone down just a little bit so you get that nice soft bent knee position, a little tiny tuck of the tail. Let your shoulders get heavy here. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. On your next inhale, imagine you're breathing all the way down to the bottom of your feet. As you exhale, let your shoulders get soft and your tailbone get soft. Inhale, breathe all the way down to your feet. One more nice long exhale here. And then start to just reawaken your body just a little bit. Maybe take a little bit of a wiggle of the knees, a little bit of movement of the ankles, and we're going to step the feet just slightly wider. So think feet about shoulder distance apart. And then once you've got that slightly wider position, we're going to come into that rock the baby sway. So we're going to bend one knee and then the other, but we're going to keep our hip points pretty level. So if it helps to hold on to the chair, hold on to the chair. If it helps to move your hands away from the chair, move your hands away. Whatever feels more secure for this one. Just finding that rock the baby sway, letting the hip points stay as level as you can. As you do this rock the baby sway, once you've got it going on and you can kind of tune it back down to your feet, notice that little bit of transfer of weight. Notice if there's any toes that tend to grip to help you do this work. And if you do grip in your toes, maybe see if you could just take a second to lift your toes, spread your toes so you get a wider spread of the toes on the ground, and then let them assist you with a little bit more space. Take one more little rock side to side. And then we're going to take a second to just look down at the placement of our blanket. We want to make sure that it feels like it's in a good position. You still able to have a nice little handhold on your chair. But now we're going to pigeon our toes. We're going to step the toes and the balls of the feet up onto the blanket. So we're going to step them up, but in a little bit of a pigeon toe situation. So the big toes are going to be pointing in towards each other. Once you get your way there, pause for a moment just to make sure that that feels like a comfortable position. If you have super tight Achilles tendons, this might be a lot. It might be extreme. So give your body a moment. And then once you've got your feet on and things feel good, hands on the chair, and we're going to think front of the body lifting upward. So we're going to lift through the heart space. Don't lock out your knees, so keep a slight micro bend in the knees. And then once you feel that lift through the heart space, we're going to lean into the chair just a little bit. We want to make sure the chair feels secure, but we want to lean in so that we feel maybe a little tender tug in the Achilles tendon, and maybe you'll feel a little sensation up into your calf muscle. Take one more breath. Soften that hip forward, heart forward position. And now we're going to keep that pigeon toe, but we're going to walk it backwards. So hands on the chair, you're going to start to walk yourself backwards to a down dog position, but we're going to keep our toes pigeoned. So hands are going to stay on the chair. Toes are going to stay pointing in towards each other. You're going to walk your butt back just to a point that feels good. And then let your chest drop down. Notice your shoulders, notice the back of your body. Take one more breath. And now we're going to keep that down dog position, but we're going to start to walk the feet. So walk your feet over to the right. So now you're just going to take your feet, step them around so that both of your feet are pointing to the right side of your mat. Spine stays facing towards the chair. And then once you've got that arranged, let your heart melt down. Take a nice deep breath. Soften just a little bit so that you can move your feet again. So now we're going to step the feet over to the left. Take your time as you walk them over and across. And then once you've got your feet arranged, spine faces towards the chair, heart melts down. Take one more breath. Soften the heart space just a little bit. Start to walk your feet back in. And now we're going to walk forward just a little bit to create a little bit of looseness in the space between you and the chair. And then we're going to start to walk the feet out wide. How wide you go, that's going to be totally up to you. So you're going to walk your feet out to a nice wide configuration, something that feels reasonable and manageable, but then we're going to pigeon the toes. So find your wide leg first, pigeon your toes slightly, and then see if you can melt your heart down. Now, if you have lots of range of motion and it feels good and safe to be there, you can walk your hands a little bit lower and even reach them down towards the ground. But if it feels a little better to stay a little bit more upright, keeping the head above the heart, stay where it feels the most comfortable. Take one more breath. Soften your knees. Engage your abdominal muscles, come up nice and slow, and then start to step your feet in. We're going to take a warrior two from the back of the chair. So, and leave your blanket on the ground. So we're going to step our left foot up onto the blanket, and then we're going to step our right foot towards the back end of your mat. Once you've got your foot towards the back end of your mat, we're going to let the hips rotate out to the side. Hand is going to find the chair. We're going to bend into that front knee just a little bit and then extend that back arm out like you're trying to reach that back arm away from you. And as you reach that back arm away, turn your head, gaze forward. Keep reaching through that back hand and then sink just a little bit deeper into that front thigh. Take one more breath. Soften everything up. Step that back foot forward. And now we're going to switch to the other side. So right foot's going to step onto the blanket. Left foot's going to step back. How far back? What feels strongest to you? Once you've got that footing, rotate your hips out to the side. Front hand is going to stay in the chair. Back hand is going to reach out and back. And as you reach through that backhand, turn your head and look forward. Sink just a little further into that front thigh. Take one more breath. Soften everything up, step that back foot in, and now we're going to come back to pigeon toes on the folded up blanket. So we're going to step the toes and the balls of the feet back up onto the blanket with that little bit of a pigeon toe configuration. Once you've got your way there, lean your hips forward, heart forward and lifting upward. Take one more breath. Soften that position up just a little bit. Rotate your feet. So now both big toes are pointing forward. So rather than that pigeon toe, everything's going to face as forward as your legs like to do. Toes and the balls of the feet on. We're going to use the chair as an assist, and we're going to take a couple of heel lifts here. So we're going to lift our heels up, lower your heels down, and if you can, let your heels go all the way down to the ground when you touch down. Beautiful. One more lift up and down. And then when you're ready, step your feet off the blanket. We're going to grab our blanket so that we can take it with us. And we're going to spin our chair around so that we can come into a seated position. And then once you've got your chair arranged or your body arranged in a way that makes sense, just have your blanket nearby, someplace handy that you can have access to it. And then grab your looping resistance band. All right, so once you've got yourself seated on your chair, scoot your butt forward so your feet are nice and firm on the ground, butt's firm in the chair, nice tall uplifted spine. And we're going to start by just placing our fingers inside our looping resistance band, a little bit of the fingertips pointing down, and then we're going to make a grip and we're just going to start to pull, like you're pulling your elbows back, keeping that band just straight in front of the chest. Keep your gaze forward. But then we're going to start to see if we can find a little tiny double tuck of the chin. So we're just pulling the fists away from each other or pulling the elbows wide. Double tuck your chin, focus your gaze. Take about 3 more. See if you can just hold that double tuck chin. Nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to slip our hands into our resistance band, but stick at the forearms. So we're going to keep that looping resistance band at the forearms, put just enough tension on so you can keep your elbows in line with the shoulders. Palms are facing in towards each other. And then we're just going to touch the resistance band to the belly and then bring it back up to shoulder height, but keep that nice even space and distance between your arms. The next time you come up where the elbows are in line with the shoulders, we're going to stay here and then we're going to alternate just a little pull out from the elbow. So we're going to pull one arm out and then the other. As the one arm stays steady, the other arm does the work, but kind of tune in and notice the backs of your shoulders, the space between your shoulder blades, and maybe even the muscles at the top of the shoulder. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. And then we're going to move it down so that the resistance band touches against the belly. And now we're going to do that same maneuver, pulling the elbows out, but keep the arms low. And then just notice that little change of place where you might feel sensation. Nice. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. And then we're going to release our arms from that resistance band. And now we're going to take a warrior 2 on each side, but we're going to use our resistance band. So we're going to take that with us. So step your foot out. You rearrange yourself in a way that makes the most sense. So we're going to step one foot out to the side. The other leg is going to slide back. So our hips are rotated out to the side. Get your legs arranged first. And then once you've got your legs arranged, we're going to take the front hand, hold onto the resistance band, and the other hand is going to grab that bottom of the loop. And now we're going to imagine we're pulling a bow and arrow. So the front hand is going to stay nice and tight, and we're going to pull it back and then release it with control. So think thumb to the cheekbone or thumb to the jawline. So as you pull back, bring that thumb to your jawline and then release it with control. So we don't want the looping band to snap us back. We want to come in and out at that same even pace. Beautiful. Take about 3 more on this side. And then once you've completed that last one, soften your arms down, soften your legs, and then we're just going to scooch around to the other side. So if you like that little swish of the knees in between, take that time. And then when you're ready, we're going to scooch those legs over to the other side. Get your legs set up first. So the front knee is bent, hips are rotated out to the side, back leg to whatever depth is appropriate for you. Switch your hands so that that front hand is holding onto your band. Grab that bottom loop, top hand or front hand stays nice and strong. And we pull that thumb back. And then release it. Take about 1 more pull here. And then when you're ready, soften your arms, soften your legs, come back through center, and then just take a couple of swishes of your knees. Once you've got that swished out, set your TheraBand off to the side. We are actually done with our little looping resistance band. Nice. All right, so find your mountain pose, butt nice and anchored in the chair, feet nice and solid on the ground, hands down at your sides. As we inhale, we're going to tune in and notice how our shoulders feel as we reach our arms up and overhead. So take a nice big breath, look up. Exhale, press your palms together, put a little pressure between the palms, bring your hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, a little pressure between the palms. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Press between the palms, bring the hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Left hand's going to touch the chair, right hand's going to reach up. Take a nice big side bend, or just as much of a side bend as feels good. Beautiful. Lift up and take it over to the other side. Nice. When you're ready, lift up nice and slow and controlled. We're going to slide the hands forward towards the knees and then lift the heart. So as we slide the hands forward, think hip hinge and then pull the heart forward, almost as if you're doing a cobra pose here. So we want to draw the shoulder blades down, lift the heart, lift through your gaze, take a nice big breath. And then when you're ready, release and think cat. So we're going to round the back, but really go way back as far as you can. And then once you're back as far as you can, take a nice big breath. And then when you're ready, think cobra pose. So we're going to pull the heart forward, reaching through the heart space, lifting through your gaze. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, pull it back and find that cat position again, rounding through the back, tucking your chin in, but hang on to those knees and go back as far as you can. Beautiful. One more time. Come through to that cobra. So elbows soften down, heart pulls forward, gaze lifts. And then when you're ready, round back, round the shoulders, round the abdomen, hang on to those knees, tuck your chin in, take one more cycle of breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, find that tall neutral spine and find your seated mountain pose. So feet nice and firm on the ground, arms down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, we're going to fold, but we're going to only go a little bit. So hands are going to find the knee, and then you're going to fold yourself forward just as if you were coming right to the edge, and then lift up just a little bit. Right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand's going to reach up to the sky. Release the hand down so both hands find the knee, and then we're going to round through the spine and pull back. So think pulling the rib cage back, rolling all the way up, roll the shoulders up to the ears, around, down, and back. Let your hands come down at your sides. Nice. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale to that half fold. So hands are going to find the knees. We hinge from the waist, lean the heart forward just to your edge. Lift up just a little bit. Left hand's going to find the right knee. Right hand's going to reach up to the sky. Beautiful. When you're ready, release that hand down, both hands find the knees, and then we round through the back. Pull the ribs back, roll the shoulders all the way up to your ears, roll them around down and back. Nice. And then we're going to grab the left leg. So pick that leg up, pull it up nice and tight to your chest. And then keeping that leg as tight to your chest as you can, a little hinge from your knee. So just a light little kick forward and back with that foot. Doesn't need to be extreme. One more little light kick with that foot. And then when you're ready, set that foot down. We're going to go grab the other leg, pick it up, pull it up nice and tight to the chest. And then once you've got it as far up as you can stand, a light little kick of that foot. Beautiful. When you're ready, set that foot down. Now we're going to go back to that original leg, but first we're going to start by grabbing the thigh muscle and twist and turn the thigh muscle. So we're going to twist and turn all the way up to the hip, twist and turn down towards the knee. Take as many twists and turns as you like. Beautiful. One more twist and turn of that leg. And then when you're ready, grab the back of that thigh, pull it up. And now we're going to do a little flossing of the hamstring muscle. So as you kick the foot, you're going to flex the foot, lift your chin. And then as you lower your chin, lower your foot and tuck your chin slightly towards your chest. And then add the breath as well. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you tuck down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to tuck down. Take two more here. And then when you're ready, release that foot down and we're going to go move on to the other side. So grab that thigh muscle, start to twist and turn, moving up towards the hip and down towards the knee. Take one more twist and turn. And then when you're ready, we're going to grab the back of that thigh, pick that leg up, and then we floss the back of the leg. So as you inhale, you're going to kick the foot up, flex the foot, lift your chin. And then as you lower the foot, you're going to tuck your chin slightly down. Add the breath. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower down. Take one more time through. And then when you're ready, set that foot down. Now we're going to sit side saddle. So we're going to start by stepping both feet off to one side. Get your side saddle seated position, and then we're going to rotate towards the back of the chair. So both hands are going to rotate to the back of the chair. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And now we're going to come to a standing position. So staying in this, we're going to come up to a standing position. Turn yourself all the way around so that you're facing the chair, and then the leg that's towards the outside of the chair, that's the foot that's going to step up onto the chair. So one foot on, one foot off, and it really doesn't matter. We're going to do both sides, but just for that sense of evenness. All right, so the foot that's on the chair, we're going to start by just imagining that you're pressing your foot down, like you're trying to squish the chair down into the earth. So press downward into the foot. Notice what happens with your standing leg. Can you soften your standing leg knee, curl your tailbone under, and then still press down into that front foot or the foot that's on the chair? Take one more moment to find that little bit of pressure and then let everything soften. Now we're going to take a rotation. So we're going to rotate towards the front knee. Just go as far as feels good, but see if you can keep your body kind of solid. So standing leg slightly solid, maybe micro bend the knee. Leg is nice and solid. Take one more moment. And now we're going to twist the other way, but we're going to go hands free. So we're going to lift our hands up into cactus or goalpost position, rotate the other way. Press down into the foot that's standing on the chair. Micro bend your standing leg, curl the tailbone under. Keep your arms nice and strong and solid, and even spread your fingers so you're bringing energy up into the arms. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release that twist, hands to the chair, step that foot off. We're going to come back to a seated position. So sit yourself all the way down into your chair. Once you've sat yourself down, step your feet slightly forward so that we get a nice soft position of the body, and then come to that half fold. So just lean your heart forward just enough. Feel a little stretch in your low back. Take a nice big breath. Come up nice and slow. Now we're going to do that side saddle to the other side. So step your feet over. Once you've got your side saddle position, rotate towards the back of the chair. One more breath. Unwind your twist, but then we're going to come up to a standing position. You come up in any way that makes sense to you. And then we're going to turn so that we're facing the chair. Outer leg is going to step onto the chair. Once you've got your leg up onto the chair, we're going to imagine we're pushing down into that foot, like you're trying to squish the chair down into the earth. So get that downward pushing sensation. Notice your standing leg. And then if your standing leg knee locked out, micro bend the knee, curl the tailbone under. So standing leg is nice and strong, but the foot that's on the chair is also nice and strong. So find that even distribution of strength. Top leg pushing down. Take one more moment to notice. Beautiful. And then soften that just a little bit. And now we're going to rotate. We're going to rotate towards that front knee. Beautiful. And then release. Arms are going to float up into that cactus or goalpost position. And then we're going to twist the other way. Soften that standing leg knee, curl the tailbone under, press down into that top foot, spread your fingers, bring energy into the upper body. Lovely. And then when you're ready, slowly, mindfully release, hand to the chair, step that foot off, and we're coming right back to a seated position. So sit your butt down onto your chair. Once you've got your seated position, feet forward just a little bit. I like my toes lifted, heels on the ground. So there's the nice extension through the backs of the legs. Knees are super soft and bent. Lean your heart forward just enough. Want to feel a little gentle stretch in the low back. Take one more breath. Come up nice and slow and controlled. Take your time. And then we're going to get ourselves to where we're starting to come back into our seat. So if you like, grab your blanket and you're going to place it so that when we start to find our way into our Shavasana, we have this little softness underneath our feet. So place your feet on to your blanket or get it so it's going to be where your feet will land when you get to your Shavasana. And then we're going to start by just scooching the butt back just a little bit so we start to feel or sense the back of the chair against us, but we're still sitting up nice and tall. Take your left hand to reach it over and across, grab the shoulder. So 4 fingers over the back side of the shoulder, let your elbow get nice and heavy. Tuck your chin down to your chest. Take one more breath. Lift your head up, but we're going to stick with this arm. So as we release our handhold from the shoulder, now we're going to tuck the hand into the armpit. So just one thumb out, the other 4 fingers in, squeeze that hand into the armpit, let your elbow get heavy, tuck your chin into your chest, take a nice deep breath in. Lift your head up, lift your arm so you can release those fingers from your armpit. And now we're going to take that same hand and now find a nice handhold of your ribs. So spread your fingers as wide as you can against your rib cage. Other hand is just going to get as heavy as it likes. Elbow gets heavy. And then once you found all of that, tuck your chin down to your chest. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift your head up, release that hand, and we're moving right over to the other side. So grab that hand, reach across the shoulder, let the elbow get heavy, tuck your chin down. One more breath. Lift your head up. And now we're going to switch our handhold. So we're going to take that hand and slide it into the armpit, thumb out, squeeze that hand into the armpit, let the elbow get heavy, tuck your chin down. When you're ready, lift your head up, release your arm. Take that hand, find lower your elbow, let that other elbow get nice and heavy, tuck your chin down. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift your head up, release your hand. Both hands are just going to land wherever feels the most comfortable. And now let your back settle back into your chair, wriggle out your shoulders. If you like that little rib climb, so you find that nice space between the spinal columns, maybe do those little wriggle the ribs, walk them up the spine. And then once you feel like you couldn't possibly walk those ribs up any higher, soften everything down, soften your shoulders, let your eyes close down. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, we're going to do a little work with our eyes closed, or at least keeping our focus gaze upward. So we're going to try to not look down at our feet. So if you folded up the blanket and you have that blanket underneath your feet, we're going to start by just wiggling the feet around, just noticing the softness and the texture of the blanket underneath your feet, keeping your eyes closed if you can. See if you can just kind of walk or crawl your feet up towards the front edge of your blanket, and then let your toes kind of fall off that front edge of your blanket, and then curl your toes up like almost as if you're trying to pick up that front edge of your blanket with your toes, and then relax your toes. And now we're going to walk our feet out so that the toes find the corners of the blanket. So see if you can find the front two corners of the blanket, and then curl your toes around the front two corners of your blanket. Relax your toes. And now we're going to see if we can just walk our feet along the outer side of the blanket. And then when your heels find the back corner of the blanket, can you imagine you're pressing your heels down towards the ground, and then release that. And now walk your feet in so the feet are towards the back edge of the mat, or the edge of your blanket that's closest to your chair. Walk your feet in so they're in that center position, which means your legs might be super close. And then as your legs are super close, feet are super close, can you push your heels down? Doesn't need to be extreme, but just feel or imagine that sensation of pressing your heels down towards the ground. And then release, and then walk your feet back in so your feet find a nice soft central position. And then once your feet are in that central position, start to lift your back away from your seat. Walk your butt forward just a little bit, which might mean you rearrange your feet as well. And then once you found that more tall and upright position with your eyes closed, if you can, we're just going to lightly tick-tock the head a little side to side. One more little tick-tock of the head side to side. And then as your head comes to center, draw little micro circles in the air with your nose. So little tiny, think 1-inch circles, drawing gently, keeping your jaw soft. One more circle around, and then if it feels good to do so, circle the other way. Nice. One more circle around, and then we're going to take it into a big good morning stretch. So you're going to step your feet out, reach your arms up, bring a whole bunch of reach and space through your body. Reach through your feet, reach through your fingers, take a nice big breath. And then when you're ready, release your legs, release your hands to your heart, and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And then breathe in a whole bunch of extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up to the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday.